10:39 here at WILK. Let's talk some high school football. Jim Roth, the head coach at Southern Columbia, joining us right now. And, Coach, welcome into the show.
Welcome. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, well, another win for you guys. Your machine, you guys keep going. I'm sure on your end it never looks that way, or you guys are probably concerned each and every week about the next opponent you have. So let's first talk about the success here of Southern Columbia here in 2018. How have you guys been doing it?
Well, we had a lot of outstanding skill players returning from last year. You know, people like Stone Hollenbach, our quarterback, Julian Fleming, wide receiver, Gage Garcia, running back. Those kind of are our big three that have been outstanding the last couple years, and they returned, and they've all had big years again. Had to replace some people up front. That was the biggest concern coming into the season. Defensively, we really didn't miss a beat. The people that we inserted into the defensive front have done a great job. Offensively, there was a little more adjustment to be done, and even though you look at the scores and you say, well, we've won every game and a lot of them handily, we weren't where we wanted to be in the offensive line early, mid-season, but here recently we've gotten a little more continuity with personnel and the group that we have, and the last few weeks that particular unit's played their best football, and that's great for us at this point and going into the championship game to have them playing at a high level, because with the, like I said, with the skill players we have offensively, if those guys up front do their job, we certainly have the ability to have a lot of success on offense. And defensively, guys don't get near the credit because they don't put the points on the board, don't put the ball in the end zone, but our defense has been outstanding all year, and that's been a huge key. And if we're going to win next week, they'll have to play well again. Wilmington's a very good offensive team, but don't get quite the credit as much as the offensive players. But again, it's one of the best defensive teams we've had in all my years there.
Let's talk about one-way players, Coach. How many guys do you have going one way on the defensive side there?
Well, we have Julian Fleming playing wide receiver and defensive back, and he would be the only one. He's the only guy that is playing on the offensive side of the ball. Everybody else is pretty much strictly a defensive player. I take that back. Preston Zachman, who's an outstanding outside linebacker, split end. We play him some at tight end. He played quarterback 5 games when our starter was down. Very good athlete, versatile kid. He's an outside linebacker, and he rotates in as a second wide receiver on offense. So he does play some offense, but primarily it's almost a one-way unit, which is obviously a benefit.
That structure and consistency you talk about and that you've done there at Southern Columbia, it starts with your coaches, but the players have to be dedicated and buy in, and that buy-in just seems like it keeps coming year after year. And it's not getting old at this point, Coach. You guys are feeling really good about who you are, what you do, and you're putting out a fine product once again here in 2018.
Yeah, well, thanks. We've obviously established a routine that we try to maintain both in season, out of season, and right now, at this time, we just have some special athletes to go along with it. I mean, you don't always have some players like Fleming and Hollenbach and Garcia. I mean, Fleming maybe he's already rated as one of the top 5 prospects in the country for the 2020 class. And I mean, those players don't come around every year or so. So when you have an established program and most of your normal good high school players are doing what they need to do to put a solid team on the field, and you get a couple elite athletes like that, it really can make a difference, and it just kind of takes things to the next level.
Yeah, Fleming, one of the most dynamic athletes ever at Southern. There's been tremendous student athletes that have gone through that program, that's for sure. And talk about the alumni support, guys coming back, and I'm sure some of those guys from the early years maybe having some kids and coming through the program at this point.
Oh yeah, I'm coaching. I'm coaching the second generation now. There's no doubt about that. And the tradition is there. I mean, we had a couple alumni that are closely tied with the program on the sideline last night. And we have an alumni association that we established a number of years ago. And so, that all ties together. I think if you're going to have a program that's going to withstand time and continue to maintain a high level, I think you have to have kind of everybody involved, and that support and that tradition, and the past success and the pride of those people. It all helps. So that's been part of it.
Well, tremendous success, Coach. Big one, as always, next week for the state championship. Congratulations on your win this weekend, and always great to catch up with you, Jim. My pleasure.
Yep, same here. Thank you.
Okay, Jim Roth, the head football coach for Southern Columbia, victorious last night against West Catholic at Wilmington next week for the state championship. And, of course, they are in Double A. We're going to talk with the Single A coach from our area who is headed to the state championship. Steve Jervis will join us next. Let's head out now to our local State Farm insurance agent, Noreen Thomas. Break like a good neighbor. Noreen Thomas in Clark Summit is there. We'll be back on WILK.